Okay, so thank you very much for this opportunity to talk. I'm going to talk about the drive to digital transformation through BIM on the global stage. So the UK BIM Alliance, we're here to help you take that first fundamental step on your digital transformation journey, but not to worry if you're further forward. We're also here eager to help, but also to involve you. So we provide trusted independent leadership, and what we're focusing on is mobilizing the whole of the community, the whole of the built environment to be able to achieve practical implementation. And what's really important is being able to achieve a common understanding and approach and one voice, rather than many, many different flavors of what BIM and managing information should be and why we're doing this. So firstly, what is BIM? So at its simplest, let's think of this as a process. We're looking at defining, creating and delivering structured data and documents, which then allow for the right information to be available to the right person at the right time for the whole life of integrated built environment assets. And what we need to make sure of is that it's not the technology that's commanding this, but it's absolutely about outcomes. What are the meaningful outcomes for society, for the economy, for the environment? And why has the UK government been pushing its adoption? Going right back into the autumn of 2010, we had the low carbon construction document coming out of HM government, followed quickly in March 2011 by the government construction client group putting forward the BIM strategy. Great excitement during this time with Francis Maud really pushing on this and starting to set out a mandate towards 2016 where all significant government projects, public sector projects would be using BIM. So a massive, massive activity based around a hypothesis which was saying that as government, as a client, should derive significant improvements in cost, value and carbon performance through the use of open and shareable asset information. And it was very targeted. There were 10 points to test any project to ensure that you had value, that it was understandable, general, non-proprietary, competitive, open, verifiable, compliant and funded. And there was this 5-year program to 2016. Gosh, have we learnt so much since that time. BIM is absolutely part of a bigger picture. It must be. It shouldn't be there just for its own sake. And it should be working with other aspects, soft landings, asset management, DFMA, all of the things that actually we're becoming very familiar with and has already been spoken with, for instance, in the previous talk. But I think one of the things which is important is that although we're driving for a common understanding and one voice, there are different perspectives. So a client will get different benefits to a designer. But at the end of the day, what we want is that common outcome where we're quite clear where the benefits are really being driven to economy, society, and environment. So we have a responsibility as an industry to ensure that we deliver on this. There are many case studies out there. And I think one of the difficulties we have sometimes is we keep on pushing for the perfect case study, which is covering all aspects of the whole life of the built environment project. But we've got good examples in Atkins, where I work myself, where it can be around planning and optimization. It could be about experimenting and simulating activities. It can be about existing brownfield modification, but it could also be about interactive decommissioning. But have we heard this too much before? Is it virtual coordination? It just seems too difficult. Can we just go for the old way, please? Shall we do it on the full size mock-up? Of course you can, but there's serious consequences. And again, you've already heard from Dame Hackett, the tragic consequences of us not being able to demonstrate a golden thread of information We're not talking just about 3D models. We need to be talking about information which is useful, insightful, allows for safety, allows for considering fire, allows for the emergency services to be able to respond in the appropriate way. But there are many different aspects to this. You'll have heard a lot of talk about integrated BIM. There are many different things to contribute to that. But what we really want to be going to, and you'll be hearing from the Centre of Digital Built Britain and the Construction Innovation Hub, is looking at integrated digital built environment. We're already seeing, in a practical way, autonomous transportation systems. We're already seeing a plethora of location-based mobile apps. I wouldn't have been able to walk the Pennine Way without using one myself. So all of these things are hugely integrated. And we need to have sensible, reliable, secure data to feed into these. And we're not alone in the UK. This is happening globally. A huge interest across Europe. So we are developing standards both at an international and a European level. So all of these initiatives which are pushing for digital transformation. And this is actually something, a report which was done over in Ireland, looking in 2017 at all the activities which are going on across the globe. And again, look at all these mandates which are occurring. It's not just in the UK. The Centre of Digital Built Britain, the international team, are working hugely hard to engage globally. And one of the great case studies is in Peru, where of course they had the tragedy of the El Nino in 2017. And the approach of the UK to BIM and managing information is being used to actually facilitate the response to that. But in the background is standardization. And in a way, I do mean that in the background is the standardization needs to be there to support practical implementation. I've talked already about how this started back before 2010, indeed. And during, since then, up to 2016, British Standards Institution with industry collaboration was developing the 1192 suite of documents, which became affectionately known as BIM Level 2. But since then, and during that time, we've been developing international standards. And we've now shifted to the UK BIM Framework. And I'll describe that a little bit for you now. Information management according to ISO 19650, which has been based on the 1192 series, is about whole life. It's not just about information management for its sake. It needs to sit within asset and project management and the overall organizational management. It needs to look at information management from wider perspectives. It's not just about construction. It's not just about design. We absolutely have to be thinking about assets, the asset owner, the asset user, society, in fact. And we need to be thinking about what is the information that needs to be required, looking at it from a societal perspective, from an organizational, an asset, and a project perspective. But actually what we can do is then look at it absolutely from an appointment perspective. We are transitioning away from BIM Level 2. Fare thee well. The 1192 suite of documents, just look at what is being withdrawn. And it's being replaced by the ISO 19650 series, which has been able to incorporate all of the experience gained over the last 10 years and more, but also the experience globally as well. And I have to say, this has been one of the best collaboration, most rich experiences I've had of a collaborative effort across the globe. And where we've got to now is we can then ensure that we are able to implement these international standards within a UK context. So with British Standards Institution, the Centre of Digital Built Britain and the UK BIM Alliance, we've worked together to put together the UK BIM Framework, the overarching approach to managing information throughout the whole life of the assets making up the built environment. You can find all that you'll need to help you implement the framework on the website with the 19650 series and adjacent standards, the remaining 1192 suite, the guidance, the protocol, and the tools to help you moving forward. And over the past 2 years, we've been developing comprehensive guidance to help you in actually moving forward. You'll find the links on this slide here, and we're extremely keen for you to continue to give us guidance and feedback about what you need and how we need to change and adapt this to help you moving forward. I'd like to show you a video which is really helping to understand information requirements and where you really need to start at an organisational level.
Hello, Anne. It's Richard here. And sorry, we haven't been able to see your screen, so we can't see the video just at the minute. But what we've said to all of the attendees is that we'll be able to share your presentation afterwards. So it might be a good idea just to move on to the next.
Okay, will do.
Okay.
All right, we'll share that later then.
Yeah.
Okay, so finally then, if you're not able to see the screen, apologies for that. But what we've got is that we're working closely with the Construction Innovation Hub, Centre of Digital Built Britain, looking at how we then progress from the UK BIM framework to the National Digital Twin Programme and the Information Management Framework. So we're looking at value, manufacturing, assurance and digital, thinking about what needs to be delivered through the National Digital Twin Programme to allow for those outcomes of economic, social and environmental benefit. The path towards information management framework is based on the UK BIM framework. We're working extremely hard to ensure that there is full integration across the built environment and out to our other industry sectors to ensure that we are able to deliver on those wider outcomes, regardless of what is thrown at us in the future. The different things that we've seen with Grenville, with COVID, it's clear that we need to have resilience, we need flexibility, we need to work together. So on that, I'd like to thank you for listening. I'm sorry that you weren't able to see the slides, but what I'd really urge is that we all stay safe, we stay engaged, and we stay inspired. Thank you very much.